In this video, we're going to be covering the big news with Elon Musk, Tesla, and Joe Biden. We're also going to cover some of the best setups heading into the market for this week and some important things that you need to know, and we're going to get right to the point. So, Tom, what is going on in the market?
Yeah, so Mike, there was some pretty big news with Tesla that came out on Friday, and it actually showed that Tesla and pretty much Joe Biden have been kind of getting into some spats here. I know that they've been kind of hitting at each other in the past, but as of right now, Elon and Joe Biden are really kind of going at it still. And Elon came out and said he's actually going to cut 10% of Tesla's employees as of an email that he sent on Friday. And that is pretty big, Mike. Like it says here, Tesla's shares dropped 8% on that news of that cutback there. And what's pretty crazy is that Joe Biden actually came out and said that other manufacturers like Ford, for example, are going to still actually be increasing their employment. So it's pretty crazy to see that Elon's talking about cutting 10% of employees here. But I will say, these other companies like Ford and GM, they've been kind of been getting into EV, and I'm sure they're expanding quite a bit, to whereas Elon has already been kind of established in the EV market. So I'm sure that, he has some issues right now for cutting 10% of people, but he said he has a super bad feeling about the economy in his own words. And what was even funnier is that they asked Biden about Elon's super bad feeling comment. And pretty much Biden just said, lots of luck on your trip to the moon. It was pretty funny. Like, you can tell that they definitely don't like each other too much. And it's pretty interesting because Biden came out and also said that, like I said earlier, GM and Ford are also going to be hiring more people and producing more EVs here. And I know that Elon's been particularly upset with Biden for not inviting Tesla to like some EV conferences and stuff like that. So it's been pretty crazy to see how Elon and Biden have been hitting on each other. But nonetheless, whenever Musk says that he has a bad feeling about the economy, it definitely doesn't sound too good to me, Mike.
True. So while Elon is set to cut 10% of his Tesla workforce, what is interesting is that should help Tesla's like fundamentals in some ways. Obviously that would be a lot less expenses, but at the same time, it would not be too good for the economy to have, 10,000 jobs lost just like that. So it's interesting news overall. And of course, he's been beefing with Joe Biden a decent amount over the past year or so. So very interesting overall. How's Tesla stock looking, Tom, off of this news?
Yeah, their stock is really dying off here. It ended up closing down over 9.2% on Friday, and we're actually sitting right at the key $700 support right now as of the time after hours closed on Friday. So that is huge, Mike. I cannot wait to see where Tesla stock opens up tomorrow morning. I'm really curious because with all the negative comments lately, I would not be too surprised if Tesla kept falling off. Although I'd love to see Tesla go back on an uptrend. I just cannot believe that big downwards move that we had on Friday. And it definitely is bringing in some negative momentum here. So if we start breaking below $700, Mike, it's going to be crucial there for Tesla's stock. And if we do break that and go even lower, I have a feeling Tesla could possibly run down to maybe that low of like a few weeks ago, maybe down to like 680 or something like that. I could see a good 20-point move happening off of that. And like I said, 680 would be a pretty big support down there. So maybe we'll get to there on Monday. Definitely put this one on the radar though, guys, because whenever Tesla has some big news, like we can see here, it has these big fluctuations. So who knows, you might be able to catch some pretty good trades off of this.
True. And then zoom out just a little bit, Tom. We can see that just a couple weeks ago, Tesla had a low of around $617.50. That's also a pretty decent support level. So keep 700 on your watch or on your radar. You could say 680 and then 617.50. Those are some pretty important levels. And Tom, let's say Tesla reverses back up. I am seeing a decent amount of resistance around 750 and even 800.
Yeah, 750 and 800 will be awesome back to the upside there. And I'm hoping that we can get back to the upside this week, Mike. But, a lot of stocks were down on Friday. We did have some stocks in the green, but most of the stocks on my watch list were in the red. Even big tech plays, like, for example, NVIDIA, for example, is down like 4%. So we're definitely seeing some stocks start to really tumble off here. And it seems like Tesla kind of started that move down on Friday. So I hope that Elon doesn't come out with any more negative comments about the economy. I'm curious to see what he'll keep saying, Mike, because we actually have some pretty big data points coming up this week with the inflation rates and everything like that. And if that gets worse, who knows? Maybe Elon will come out and keep saying even more negative things about the economy. But yeah, as of right now, $700 is going to be big. And I can't wait to see what happens Monday morning, Mike. Like you said, if we do end up going up, 750 will be a pretty big target. So no matter which way it ends up going, it seems like it's set to have a pretty decent move at least.
Yep, no doubt. So you mentioned a couple important like economic data points for this week. What's on the schedule?
Yeah, so we can see here on Trading Economics, there's nothing too big this week. It looks like on Tuesday, there is something coming out called the balance of trade, which is going to be interesting. You can see how they're kind of forecasting some numbers there for that. That is in the red. So keep in mind, guys, if it is in red on the left side here, they do consider that to be one of the bigger events this week. But the biggest thing that we're seeing, Mike, is going to be that core inflation rate and just the regular inflation rate for May there on Friday. That's going to come out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on Friday. We're going to talk about this a ton in videos heading up into Friday as well. But either way, Mike, it's going to be huge, and definitely throw this on your radar because as we know, inflation's been going crazy. And what I really have been kind of looking at is that the consumer sentiment is also very low. Consumer sentiment is also almost the levels that we were at during like 2008. So that's pretty telling, Mike. Like people are not too confident in the market right now, but I will say it might be a good time to buy. It's just right now that confidence is just very low.
Yep. And sometimes the best opportunities, not only in the stock market, but many other markets, is when everyone is panicking and freaking out. So, yeah, very interesting. And then, Tom, I know that earnings season is pretty much at the end, but what's on the schedule for this week?
Yeah, so we don't have anything too crazy. Like you said, we're kind of getting to the end of earnings here, but towards the end of the week, we do have some pretty big ones here as far as the stocks go. So we're going to have NEO on Thursday along with FCEL or Fuel Cell Energy. And then on Thursday after close, we're going to have DocuSign. So honestly, I think that those three companies are going to be my three biggest ones to watch. Obviously, NEO and DocuSign will be my two favorites to watch. I know my Campbell Soup is going to be interesting. I know those types of stocks have been moving extremely crazy with all the inflation and everything like that going on. I know that like Academy, Cracker Barrel, and Dave & Buster's are also pretty big along with Casey's, but they're nothing groundbreaking as far as stocks go. It's definitely no Tesla or Apple, that's for sure.
True. Alrighty, well, with that being said, I just want to give a giant shout out to our member of the day in the Stocked Up Discord, Deez Stonks. So huge shout out to Deez Stonks. Thank you so much for being an awesome and active member of the chat. But Tom, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have Corsair to the upside.
Yeah, thank God Corsair kind of held its ground Friday. Go ahead and make them break above 1625.
All right, with the next one, we have MU, but to the downside.
Yeah, poor Micron here. Go ahead and make them break below $69 even.
And then with the last one, we have Facebook, also to the downside.
Yeah, Facebook. Wow, they really rejected off $200 last week. Go ahead and make them break below 189.50.
All right, so we are watching Facebook and MU for potential day trades to the downside tomorrow, only if they break below the levels Tom listed. And then we are watching Corsair for a potential day trade to the upside tomorrow, only if it breaks above the level Tom listed. But Tom, all in all, I'm pretty excited for this week. The market is at an interesting point where it's not selling off like it was a couple weeks ago. At the same time, we're starting to see some stocks level off. We're seeing some stocks move to the upside in a good way. But, we have that inflation data coming out on Friday. But overall, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too, especially with the way we moved on Friday. A lot of stocks were in the red, but a few stocks were green. We saw like AI rising up like 12%. But we did see some bigger plays in the market, like Apple down 3.86%. We had NVIDIA down 4.4%. AMD was down 2%. So it's going to be tough, Mike. We did have a lot of stocks end up falling down on Friday, but I will say that even though we were down on Friday, a lot of these uptrends from the lows are still going pretty well. Like AMD is starting to bounce up pretty well. We're back above $100. So that's great to see. I know Apple was really ripping up for the past couple of weeks, although that move on Friday brought us back down to that 145 support. So I'm hoping that we can see some nice price action back up this week. I will say that just because we were down Friday doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to keep selling off to the downside. But I will say, Mike, some of those moves look pretty drastic there, especially on these intraday charts. Like poor Apple here. One of our favorites, DraftKings, was actually down like over 10%, believe it or not. I noticed Roku was down a lot. Even some of these airlines like American Airlines were tanking off. So it was a pretty brutal sell-off on Friday. I hope that we can finally turn it around this week. I think there's a good possibility. Hopefully those inflation numbers come in better than expected Friday, Mike. I think that's going to be crucial for the market. But honestly, I'm not too optimistic to the upside. I do feel like that there's a lot of selling pressure right now, and it's going to be crucial. I hope the SPY can end up holding up.
Exactly. Well, with that being said, Tom, either way, we're set for an exciting week. But if you guys trade options, definitely check out that first link in the description down below to get access to our options day trading bots. They're awesome, and you won't find them anywhere else. Our bot calls out an options day trade every single day. You'll also get access to bonus day trades from Tom and I, a private community, and a bunch of other great tools you won't find anywhere else. Additionally, you can cancel at any time, and we have a coupon running. It's an amazing program for options traders, especially if you trade for the short term. So definitely check it out. It's going to be that first link in the description and the comments down below. Besides that, let's have a great week.